Welcome back. Today's video is another in my how to use Ravelry video series. This is the second video that I'm sharing, and it's going to be talking all about your Ravelry profile, how to edit your profile, and to customize some of the settings within Ravelry. So overall, we're going to go through how to get to your Ravelry profile, how to edit the information that's there, along with your profile picture. We'll then dive into the different settings that Ravelry has available, including how to hide some content, how to change your view, how to change your color mode, and export your data from Ravelry if you ever needed to. Then finally, I'll show you how to submit feedback if you ever come across a bug or need to submit some feedback to the Ravelry developers. With all of that, I hope you're excited to customize your profile, and let's go to the computer to see what we can do. Another area of Ravelry to explore is your Ravelry profile. So if you're new to Ravelry, your profile is accessed by going to this top right corner and clicking this little profile picture. And this takes you to your Ravelry, essentially your Ravelry profile. So you can see I'm showing my Ravelry profile. You're able to type in your name, pronouns, when you started using Ravelry. If you have a website or blog, you can link it here. So I've linked my YouTube channel, where you live, your birthday, and other information that you'd like to list as well. In order to make changes to your Ravelry profile, you're going to go up to the top left and click the Edit Profile button, and this is what then allows you to make changes. So when you click Edit Your Profile, it will take you to this page where you can make your changes. So this first part here is your email that you've used to create your Ravelry account. If you ever needed to change it, you can click the Change button. If you'd like to add a new profile picture, you can click that and upload a photo. You can also reorder your photos to have them in a different order that they appear on your page. I really need to update some of mine, and mine are a little bit old. If you have a website or a blog, you can enter it here. Like I said, I've entered my YouTube channel. And then you can decide if you want to measure things in yards and ounces, meters and grams, or yards and grams. I like yards and grams, but that's just kind of the default for things to appear on your profile. If you'd like to know if you want people to know when you're online, you can click this check mark. If you want to show when you were last online, these are just all options that you can pick. If you'd like to hide like adult content kind of patterns, you could set this as an option. If you need to change your username or password. And then these apps that I have listed here are apps that I have used that ask for permission to access my Ravelry account. So usually if you have an app that requires it, they'll have that as an option within the app. But say you no longer use Stash to Go, which I don't, I can unclick that and just kind of stop sending that information to these different apps. Actually, I have a few, so I'm going to clean them up. You then have more of your contact information, so your name, pronouns, birthday, where you live, how long you've been knitting and crocheting, any pets or kids, favorite colors. This is all optional information, but a little fun to post. So then the next section are your social sites. So I have my Instagram, YouTube, and Ko-Fi, and then a little about me section where I talk about where we've lived as an adult, when I taught myself to knit, my YouTube channel, and pattern layout that I have done for a few patterns. Once you're done with all of that, you can just click Save Changes at the bottom, and that's how you make changes to your Ravelry profile. So the next area that we'll look at in Ravelry is exploring your Ravelry settings. So when you click that, that takes you to this screen, and with all the different settings that you're able to adjust. The first section again shows that hiding adult content. You also have the option to turn off motion animations and GIFs. This mostly happens when that initial login screen. Between logging in and loading that home screen, there is a slight animation that happens Fortunately, you cannot turn it off before logging in and doing your settings, but if that's something that bothers you, you could have someone come in, sign into your account for you, and then navigate to this page in order to turn that setting off. But that's the only place I've ever seen the motion or navigation happen. If you have a preference for looking at low vision patterns, you can say that you only want patterns that have low vision. And then if you'd like to increase the font size, you can do that here as well. I've done that for this video. Appearance is the next section where we then can change between different fonts. And then mode is where you can choose between light mode or dark mode. And I'll show that in another section in just a few minutes. You then also have this information about going with the navigation bar, which is this top bar at the top of the screen. It's the top bar at the top. But you can say that you want to keep it, or you, like you said, now it's gone. If I click that, it's not there. You also can have it hide when you're scrolling. And then there's some options with tablets and phones about keeping this bar at the top and hiding it when you scroll as well. You also can have an option when you finish a pattern. It can prompt you to review the pattern and yarns. I'll show those reviews when I go over those sections, but essentially you can rate a pattern on legibility, understanding, etc. If you don't want that to happen, you can turn that off. If you don't want to load any Google Analytics or sharing to Facebook, you can click that here. And then if you're interested in new settings from Ravelry, you can use the beta testing option here. As new features are released, if you'd like to know about them, you can click this, and if they choose to have you look at it, you can be a person to look at it soon. And then forums, there's just a little note here that you have to go to the settings and forums to make any changes for those. So that's the Ravelry settings page, and you can save your preferences. The last section under editing profile is this export data section. So if you ever needed to do an export or you want to do an export, you can. You see here it says that it's going to export it in this JSN format. You also can download your library inventory, your stash inventory, or print your queue. So it's just a little quick place to see some of the ways to export some of your data from Ravelry. You also can download your PDF files from the purchase section. So it's saying you can go there to make some changes. The next section and setting is the color mode, which I mentioned you can get to by going to the settings under Ravelry, but you also can access it by going to your profile picture, and then you see these little buttons. So this first mode is Merino mode. I'm going to click it. This is a very white background with drop shadows. So that's what this page would look like, and I'll show you the home screen as well. The next color mode is the Herdwick mode. This is similar, but there are no drop shadows now, and it's a slightly gray background. And then my default is the dark mode, which does a dark background and white text. You also have the option to change the theme based on your computer settings. So if your computer switches between day mode and night mode, you can use this setting and it will change as well. This is also a setting on many phones. You have a day setting and you can have a night setting. So if you want dark mode at night and the light mode during the day, you can use this setting and it will automatically switch on Ravelry for you if you're browsing on your phone. You can see here there's also another option to export your data. So there's two different ways to get there. Swatches is the preview beta feature, so you also can turn it off or on from this screen. And then purchase history under your settings shows everything that you've bought on Ravelry, and when it got to your account, if you need to find a purchase, you can use the purchase finder But all your digital purchases that you make on Ravelry will be here. And then if you need any information about the purchase, you just click Order Details. The last setting under your little profile is the Submit Feedback. So you can either submit suggestion for improving, reporting a bug, or you just need help. You just click Next, and then you can add your comments and your email. And that's the whole section of your Ravelry preferences. So I hope you're able to get your Ravelry account all set up, to get your profile picture added and get some of your basic information up in there, in addition to customizing some of your Ravelry settings. Your profile is a great place to personalize so that when people come across your profile, they can get to know you a little bit more and add you as a friend if they'd like to follow some of your making and projects as well, or to just build friendships in this community part that Ravelry offers. So I hope you're able to dive in and get some of that customized. It's always a continuing process. As you saw, I was updating some of my profile today. So it's always fun to check back at that and see if you need to update any of your settings or basic information. Be sure to come back and follow this video series where I'm taking you from Ravelry beginnings to all the way through the advanced features. I'm going to have an entire playlist going through all the different features that I've found from using Ravelry. So be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you'd like to make sure you don't miss any future videos. I also have a playlist for the Ravelry how-to, so make sure you follow that as well if you ever need to access some more information. With that, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a little something new, and I'll see you again very soon for another Ravelry video.